You know, it's almost getting that time of the year where it is too late for new figs to ripen. I think for many people in the country, that day is already come and gone. If you have new little figs growing on your tree, you probably want to just remove them because, in general, you want to allow, say, 90 days for a fig to ripen. From its little stage to full grown. Um, so some other varieties though on the longer end could take upwards of 120 days. So you're talking 4 months. So depending on your client, you really got to kind of look at when your end of the season is, and then back out. I'd say at least 90 days. Take 3 months off of that. And if you're getting outside of that frame, it's probably time to just start taking like little figs off right here, like those. This is a Bass's favorite fig right here. I actually may have time for that little thing. So each variety likely has a different ripening time. I think there is kind of a generic bucket you can use. The early varieties typically can take anywhere from, I think they say like 60 to 80 days, and then the mid varieties, mid-season varieties take upwards of around 90 days, and then you talk about the late varieties, they can take upwards of 120 days. So in this case, this is a black Tuscan right here. Today is September, oh gosh, I don't even know, 8th. And I don't think these little figs will have time. We usually get, if we get a frost, it will come usually in January sometime. But you do have to think about this, like when you're ripening your figs. So if it takes 90 days, typically for a fig to ripen, you're talking 90 days of starting in the spring and going throughout the summer months when it's very warm. So a fig that might take 90 days under normal conditions, in the fall, things are starting to cool down. Sometimes fairly substantially, like the overnight lows are getting a lot cooler. And so that fig that should have taken 90 days to ripen might take much longer than that. Your 90-day fig could end up taking you 120 days because you just have cooler days and cooler nights. I don't think it really hurts anything to just, leave your figs on there. But just know that they very much likely are not going to ripen. So you could save your tree a little bit of energy and, remove them and let the tree use that energy for, furthering their growth and their roots and so forth. Don't know if it really matters though. I think if you have a little tree, first year cutting or so forth, it might matter. See, this is a Colidon Blanc right here, and I mean, as most people know, they take quite a while, more than 3 months. And at this point in first week in September, I don't really know if I have 4 months left to ripen, especially considering cooler temperatures coming too, right? So it's probably not a bad thing to go around and find those tiny little figlets that you just know are not going to make it, and take them off. I think at least on my younger trees, I'm going to do that. The bigger trees, I'm not really that much worried about it. I just think for an energy perspective for the new trees to get going, it might be helpful for that. Some people don't even let their first year trees get figs on them. For me, it kind of depends how the first year tree is doing. Sometimes you get that first year tree, it just seems to be struggling. It's not growing well. I definitely wouldn't let a fig grow on a tree like that. But if you have a very healthy, vigorous first year growing fig tree, yeah, I have no problem letting them going on there. In fact, a lot of my first year trees, I have picked already some really tasty. Those are all first year rooted cuttings. So they were vigorous and they did put on some figs. This one is pretty as it is. It just has not, grown insanely fast, but it's a very healthy and pretty tree. It's a Borzazak rice, but you can see it's got a fig there. And I really don't think it probably has time to get her done before it gets cold. Under normal conditions, 3 months. I do have 3 months left, but as each month progresses, it gets cooler. So it would take longer than 90 days for that Borzazak rice to ripen. So I might as well just take it off, right? This is a Sal McGill Rojo Azor Stark. I think I'll just let these ride. It's got a few on there and they're green, but I have a feeling they're gonna make it. As most of you know, they can ripen like 65 days at that stage. So I'll let those go. It's kind of sprinkling out here right now. This is a 5 Terra A. There's not a lot of information on how long it takes these figs to ripen, but I can tell you, this tree got hit by rust, so it lost a lot of leaves. So you go along and then it has a little stretch in the leaves and it's got this like mess of figs down here. They have been sitting on this tree in that state longer than my Colidom Blanc, which they started ripening about 2 weeks ago. So this 5 Terra A seems to have quite a lengthening ripening period. So I have a feeling these figs here have no prayer. I'm gonna leave these little bigger ones. These look weird. I'm gonna take them off. I don't know why they look weird, but they're going. So anywho, I think part of the thing about taking the figs off there is not just to conserve energy for your tree. You just know they're not going to make it, so by taking them off, the other more sizable figs on your tree are now going to get more energy focused to them. That will hopefully help those other remaining larger figs ripen faster. This is a Ponta Tressa. I don't know about this one. I don't know if I'm going to pick those off or just let it ride. I think I might just let these ride and see what happens. They came out a few weeks ago, so I'm going to let them go. This is an Olympian, and it's so prolific. Just cranks out figs. So it actually gets 2 main crop. Not Brave, I'm not talking Brave, but 2 main crops. So you pick a crop in July, main crop in July, and then in September you start getting a second crop, and that's what we're seeing here. You can see quite a few figs on here. And I've already picked at least 100 figs off of this tree. You see there's one ripening up right there. They really swell up nice. But some of these tiny figs, the Olympian actually ripens pretty quick. I think for me it's about probably a 65 to 70 day ripening period. So technically these little bitty green ones, I still have time for those to ripen. So I may just let these things ride here because it's a fairly fast ripening fig. There's another one ripening right there. They're so delicious. Okay, there's a little popone. It started getting figs on it. Gosh, just a couple weeks ago. I don't know if it's gonna have time or not. Popone is a striped fig, and this is a first year tree. I might leave that one on there, and I have these other little ones up here. I may just take these off. Just grab and give them a little twist, and off they go. I'm just gonna leave that one there. See what happens. See if I can get a little striped popone fig. I think I might even start seeing hints of stripes on it. We'll see. This is a fairly new plant that I put in here. This is a Barbentane, and it did have 3 or 4 figs on it that, yeah, I figured. I took it off. I took them off, and it's before it had all these leaves on it, so I think it was too many figs for that little bitty tree. This is my Adriatic JH. It's got so many figs on it. I have been eating so many of these. They are absolutely excellent. Absolutely excellent. So anyway, I think it's probably a good thing to get those off of there if you haven't already. This is a Verdino Del Nord. They ripen pretty quick, but at the same time, I don't think some of these little ones are gonna make it. So I'm just gonna go around and take some of these little dudes off of here. Like I say, it should, in theory, help the remaining figs get ripe before it gets too cold. So anyway, if you have a chance to go around and take a look at your trees, just know, looking out, like I said, if your first average frost date, just take that date, back out, say 90 days. So any figlets that start forming on that 90-day period, you may just want to clip them off. And so this is a Socorro Black. It's got a number of fairly sizable figs, but you can see it also has some new figs coming out on it. And you don't want to sit here and watch me pick those, but I am going to get through and pick out all the little ones, which should help these more sizable Socorro Black figs ripen up. That's a pretty tree. It's got a cool little branching structure on it. And I think that is about all I've got on my trees in terms of the little figs I need to remove. Here's a Nero 600 that looks like it's getting ready. It's getting pretty soft. It would be the first one off of that. This was one of my later planted trees. It's supposedly very much like, if not identical to, Violet de Bordeaux, which I do have over here too, but man, I planted this thing I don't know, it's probably been a month ago now. It's a little Craven's Craving, but it is doing so well. I always have to stop and take a look at it. It's doing really well. Also have a new. So I was showing you my bass's favorite fig earlier, which many people say it's Calderona. I happen to think it is as well. Here is my new little Calderona. I actually did a little video about a month ago. It was called How I Plant My Figs in Ground. And that was the one I did the little demo on. It's doing really well. I actually plant my figs in pots, like 5-gallon nursery pots with the bottoms cut off. I think it works amazingly well. You have to check out that video if you have a chance or if you're interested. Wow, it's crazy, kind of overcast, and unusually cool today, and it has been for the last week, so I really had to get out and take a chance to make a video because it's usually too scorching hot. Like my phone would be overheating, I would be sweating like crazy, but neither of those happened today. So have a great day.